Hi, you're watching Sports 6. My name is Vineet Malhotra. We're going to have a very immersive discussion today about how India took South Africa to the cleaners and what lies ahead for this new Indian and very promising outfit that we got to see glares of yesterday at Mohali. And with me in the studio is former India cricketer Nikhil Chopra, and with him is sports journalist Harpal Singh Bedi. We will also be joined by former India cricketer Ratendra Singh Sodhi, but that will happen in a couple of minutes. Well, India started off their campaign yesterday on a winning note, and the start to the season at home turned out to be a walk in the park for the team, as the South African side not only looked depleted but out of sorts as well. Although India have had a favourable result in the West Indies and not the first match against South Africa, what is going to be the thought process going forward from here? The World T20 Cup is to be played in Australia next year, and there is a lot of ground literally to be covered before Virat can win his first ICC tournament. We have also talked about Rishabh Pant in the past, and we will talk about Rishabh Pant again because he flopped yesterday, and Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli are going to be watching that and looking at that very carefully, and how our bowling bench strength is actually a paradox of plenty. So we'll talk about that, but first up, Nikhil, I want your assessment and your reactions as to what transpired yesterday. Obviously, Virat Kohli and the Indian team made it look very easy, but it was not that easy because Virat Kohli is in fact again showing that he is responsible for taking us through, sailing us through, when our middle order does not do well.
Well, absolutely. A couple of big positives that came through that, when South Africa were batting first, Quinton de Kock, was on song. He had that partnership going with Bavuma. How did Team India come back? You had a rookie, in Navdeep Saini picking up the wicket of Quinton de Kock, and
Correct.
That's how they made a comeback. Fantastic catch. These are small little positives that you take on because, make no mistake, the T20 World Cup World Championship that you speak about, Vineet, you have to try and find some key players. Who's going to pair up with Jasprit Bumrah? Would it be Navdeep Saini, Deepak Chahar, Khalil? Because God forbid, if Bhuvi has a bad day or he gets injured, you need to start preparing now. And the most important thing that you spoke about, that our captain is still looking for his first ICC World Championship, so he's got to leave no stone unturned. He's going to try and find the perfect combination before he gets to Australia.
Absolutely. And talking about our captain, in fact, let's listen to these reactions that came at the back of yesterday's victory for India.
और विराट भैया की बात करें तो मैं बैठा हुआ था, बात कर रहा था प्लेयर से. मैं ये बोल रहा था कि अगर बाकी कोई प्लेयर अंडर 16 की टीम के साथ भी खेलेगा लगातार तो इतने रन नहीं बना सकता. विराट भैया पता नहीं हाउ ही मैनेज टू स्कोर इतने रन, वो भी इतने कंसिस्टेंटली. वो नेक्स्ट लेवल प्लेयर हैं. वो जो बैटिंग कर रहे थे आज, वो क्लास.
आई थिंक विराट का एंटिसिपेशन बहुत ही अच्छा था, क्योंकि जो बैकवर्ड रनिंग करके उसने कैच पकड़ा वो मेरे ख्याल से बहुत टफ रहता है, क्योंकि पता नहीं होता है कि बॉल कितने एरिया में ट्रैवल हो रहा है, कितना हाइट है. तो मेरे ख्याल से वो मुश्किल होता है बैकवर्ड कैच करना. और मेरे ख्याल से डेविड मिलर का भी बहुत ही अच्छा कैच था, क्योंकि फ्लैट था और ये जो ग्राउंड में, मोहाली के ग्राउंड में जो लाइट से बहुत नीचे, इतनी हाइट नहीं है, और वो लाइट में से बॉल को जज करना, वो मेरे ख्याल से वो भी एक डिफ़िकल्ट कैच था.
And in fact, after yesterday's emphatic victory against the South Africans, Virat Kohli has an average above 50 in all three formats. And Mr. Bedi, we are talking about Virat Kohli's batting. We are not even in fact considering his captaincy or the milestones he's achieved, in different areas in the game of cricket. Just the fact that he's a brilliant fielder also is something that is completely eclipsed by the brilliance of his batting. We will talk about India's prospects for the next year's World T20, but let's also assess, according to you, what was the high point for Virat Kohli and Team India yesterday?
He led from the front, and there was virtually no opposition. Remember, one thing is there. You may say it was a very tough match. It was not. And somewhere South Africans were lost. They didn't seem to know what to do. There was nothing. Even if their opening partnership was going on, they never looked threatening. It was very amazing. Whether it was overconfidence or something, South Africa never inspires confidence when they come in India. Recently, No, it is not trying to.
Well, last year they beat
no,
us in the ODI series
no,
as well as the T20
no, one or
series.
two matches, but I'm talking when they play in India. I'm not talking
That
when
was in India.
So once they played well when Hashim Amla and others were there, but this new team does not inspire any confidence. As far as Kohli is concerned, you have to accept this fact that he's the best batsman and a very good fielder. And a lot of people lost places because they could not compete as far as his fielding is concerned. So he set the benchmark. That look here, if I can field it, why can't you? And a lot of people yo-yo test and all those tests. As far as captaincy, that is a different debate altogether. But as far as his captainship, nobody doubts it, and nobody need discuss it, and nobody need discuss his fitness. That is fine. But as far as yesterday's match is concerned, I think this is my belief. Nikhil may have something else. As a journalist, it never looked inspiring, and it was totally one-sided.
Right. In fact, the par score, as we discussed yesterday, Nikhil, was somewhere around 170, 175, and South Africa could not even cross that. From the point of a hypothesis, even if it was not South Africa, if it was another team having a bad day and, getting out at this paltry score, do you think that the Indian team would have had equal amount of confidence going in? Because they know that South Africa is struggling. They are teetering literally to, get runs onto the board and, come back into, the game in terms of confidence.
Well, to be honest, no matter which side in the world that you play, you go in with the belief that you're going to go out there and beat the opposition. We all know that South Africa is in that rebuilding process, but still, you still follow the same sort of processes. When in terms of bowling, Team India, every international game that they're playing, they're trying new faces in terms of their bowling department, looking at the quick bowlers who've got the aptitude to go out there and bowl under pressure with this 120 ball format. Navdeep Saini bowled well, Deepak Chahar bowled really well, and then you're also looking to try this combination of the spinners. Washington Sundar coming and bowling in the power play. That's his forte. How does he react to pressure? Then when you play Ravindra Jadeja, world-class all-rounder that he is. And when you have your 5 bowlers bowling well, then the combination of Krunal Pandya, he only bowled that 1 over. He's a fantastic cricketer because he also got a man of the series in the T20 in the West Indies as well. So Virat is just trying to find the right sort of combination. In that process, like Sir says, South Africa looked like no opposition. Well, that's their bad luck. They're going through their rebuilding process. They need to come and do their homework. Now, every single time we go and play an opposition, whether it's weak or strong, you still need to go out there and win games.
No, I want to explain one thing.
Sure.
T20 is a lottery, first of all, I think, and nobody should underestimate other team. That is one thing. In T20, whatever team is there, it may Fiji or Bahamas may come, they can create problem for you. T20 is such a format. But South Africa somehow is very surprising. Yesterday match, it looked that India will win. It may be a gut feeling. See, I'm not writing off South Africa.
Sir, that is your insight and how you visualize. You're the cricket guru. That's why you said that Team India will win.
No, not. I think, as far as T20 is concerned, it is a lottery. It does not.
Sir, you need a little bit of skill set.
Yes, we had too much of skill.
So then how? How the lottery?
How the lottery?
But then sometimes it happens. It happens sometimes that you may score 150 or 160 or 180. There is no specific target as far as there is no set target in 220. 200 can be chased, 90 runs cannot be chased. That is the one thing I am telling you. But somewhere yesterday, Indian team looked very far better. Besides Kohli, you are bowling, as he said. Saini and Chahar was a revelation in the sense. Washington Sundar, you name them and they bowled well. And now, come back to Rishabh Pant. That time
we are going to talk about Rishabh Pant as well. In fact, we have Ratinder Singh Sodhi who's also joining us on the broadcast. Ricky, thank you so much for joining us. So let's talk a little bit about Rishabh Pant now. As soon as he got out yesterday, Ricky, what's the word that came to my mind? Ravi Shastri. That's all I'm saying, Ricky, because we all know what Ravi Shastri had to say about Rishabh Pant, and in fact he also made a remark about him throwing away his wicket, and he made it categorically clear that he's being watched, and if he does throw away his wicket recklessly like he did yesterday again, then there's going to be a rap on the knuckles. Do you think Rishabh Pant is going to survive in this format, in this team for long under such kind of a pressure situation?
Look, Vineet, this rap on the knuckles should have been given many days before. He have been given a longer rope, maybe his potential, talent, which lots of people talk about. So that has helped his cause. But end of the day, it's your runs. What you do on the cricket field, inside that rope, on that 22 yards. And Rishabh Pant has been a big, colossal failure. And time has come now to replace him, send him to domestic cricket, let him play cricket there, let him get runs, let him impress selectors and make a comeback. And that is where he will mature as a player. Otherwise, the precedent will be set that even if you don't get runs, you get your opportunities on your talent. And that won't be a right case. It's all about getting runs for Team India.
All right, so Ratinder Singh Sodhi says is of the opinion that Rishabh Pant should be sacked. Somebody else in his place should in fact come. But another thing that really baffles me is that how did he get to bat before Shreyas Iyer? We'll talk about that, but let's take a look at what Rishabh Pant has been going through in the last few innings that he's played for India.
Rishabh Pant has yet again failed with the bat, exposing India's worries at the number 4 spot. He got out to an ordinary delivery, ignoring the batting coach's advice, asking him not to be careless. Here's what Vikram Rathore had to say before the game.
Of course, we want him to play all his shots. He needs to be fearless because that is what makes him special. He's an impact player. But at the same time, you cannot afford to be careless. That's all.
Pant's record in T20s hasn't been impressive. He got out on 4 against South Africa, did impress with a 65 against West Indies, but got out on 4 and 0 in other 2 T20s. Pant's record in T20s hasn't been impressive. He got against Africa, did impress with a 65 against West Indies, but got out on 4 and 0 in other 2 T20s. He's just won in the second T20 against India. India's other number of Manish Shreyas Iyer. Their performances T20 have. The big question is what more can India do to tackle the number 4 conundrum?
Okay, so Rishabh Pant, Nikhil Chopra, not so lucky throwing away his wicket once again. What's going on over there? You know, he's definitely low on confidence, and this pressure, this colossal pressure being mounted on him, you know, on behalf of the captain and the coach, and the uncertainty with Dhoni's future is perhaps a career breaker.
Well, you would want that pressure on every single individual because you've got the
he's too young to handle it. He's a kid.
Well, you're representing your country. Then obviously he should be saying that I can't handle the pressure. You can't be playing for your country.
Cut him some slack, please.
Yeah. See, I'll tell you something. Why everybody's believing in him? Because he's got the ability to go out there and win games. And you asked a very pertinent question. Why did he come out to bat at number 4?
Exactly.
I'll tell you why. In the terms of preparation for Team India, you would want to carry on that left and right combination for as long as you possibly can. Had Virat Kohli got out at that moment in time, Shreyas Iyer would have come to bat, but because it was Shikhar Dhawan and that partnership was going on, that's why the left-hander replaced another left-hander. The unfortunate part is, time is ticking. Time will not stop for anybody, no matter how much potential you have, until unless you turn that potential into performance, my friend, somebody else will come and bat for you.
Right, Mr. Bedi, do you think this is good for Rishabh Pant? We all know that Virat Kohli, you know, in initial days of his stint with the Indian team, he was missing in action for 13 months, and that what he says.
Different case altogether.
Well, just to give you an example of the best, sir. That's what we do. You know, we cite the best, not the worst. Just to give you an example of the best, he was missing for 13 months. He utilized that time to come back, and since then he has not been dropped. Do you think this is going to do Rishabh Pant a world of good?
If he goes, Rishabh goes, then it will be very difficult for him to come back.
Why? Because
I just want to recall. Last time when I was here in the program and Mr. Nikhil was also there, I said what happened to KL Rahul, and other panelists reeled out how many chances he was given and what he failed. Now Mr. Rishabh Pant had given 18 chances, out of which in 11 he scored did not cross single digit. Now out of 18, if he fails in 11 matches, how many chances you will give? Now this is one.
No point being so magnanimous, right?
Sir, with your expertise,
No, there is one thing.
Since you're talking numbers, in those 18 chances that you talk about, you know, he hasn't got runs in 11. How many games out of those 11 has Team India won or lost?
No, that is different. No, debate. No, we are talking
why would you want to change the winning?
I'm not saying. I'm just giving a statistics. Second thing is, as it's some social media, it is going on now, that he's doing everything. Rishabh Pant is doing everything so that Mahendra Singh Dhoni comes back. because he is playing the so. He is doing.
Maybe he is Dhoni's biggest fan.
Yes, he said he is desperately trying that Mahendra Singh Dhoni should come back. That is why it is. But is it how you like your face? That is one thing, is there?
I'll tell you what's going to happen, sir. Don't get me wrong. In T20s, there might be a possibility. Of course, Ishan Kishan is doing well. Rishabh doesn't utilize his opportunities, and I'm telling you, with some far-sightedness, you might have KL Rahul come and keep.
Absolutely. And Ricky, obviously you have not been very forgiving towards Rishabh Pant, but if Rishabh goes, who do you think is going to come and take his place? KL Rahul seems to be the obvious candidate now.
Look, Vineet, it's not about forgiving. It's about your love for Team India. You want your team to perform. You want the selection to be transparent. So many cricketers are in the fringes, working day in, day out in Ranji trophies, A games, to get into the Indian team, to get that coveted India cap. So that would, if you keep persisting with Rishabh Pant without him performing, so that will do injustice with those kids on the block. So it's very important now, if Rishabh Pant gets runs in domestic cricket, I'm not looking to give him another international game in Bangalore. So he has to go out. That's my personal opinion. And Ishan Kishan, he's a man to be noted in the notebooks. A very hard-hitting batsman, talented to the core, young, exuberant. Who knows? We might be talking about Ishan Kishan in the days to come instead of Rishabh.
Absolutely, and hails from the same state as MS Dhoni. But we, before we talk about other things, we also have to give a thought out to Chahar and the way he bowled yesterday. Do you think MSD again comes into the fray, comes into the picture? Because most of the skills that this gentleman has developed, especially that early swing that he gets, has been honed at CSK.
Well, the beauty about Mahendra Singh Dhoni and his leadership is he allows the youngsters to go out there and showcase their talent or showcase their skill set. And he's one man who, always believes in the youngsters to make sure that the skill sets always tends to keep on improving. Even if you're at the top of your game, you want your skill sets to keep on improving. Only then you can go out there and be a world-beating cricketer. And the beauty about it is, after so many years, we see Deepak Chahar being able to swing the ball. You got a lot of quick bowlers in India at this moment in time who can get the ball to seam, pitch and deviate. But here's a man who can get the ball to talk in the air. He possesses great amount of talent. The good thing is every single opportunity he gets, or the more he plays for India and the more T20s he plays, the better he's going to get.
Absolutely. And Mr. Bedi, what are your thoughts about Chahar? Now here is somebody who can bat as well, and I want you to reply to my question, keeping the entire template that the Indian team perhaps has in mind, to keep the depth of the batting to the max.
You are comparing MSG, Dhoni's captainship, and how he built the team and how he nursed the players. Remember one thing, Dhoni and Ganguly were a player who gave confidence to players. They were very comfortable with them. Virat Kohli has performed so big that he wants every player to be like him. That is not possible. So he overalls. The player gets very overawed by, whereas this was not the case with Dhoni or with Ganguly. They were equal, one among the equals, but they are encouraged. Virat is encouraging, but he says, look here, if I can score, why can't you? That is very tough for other players to perform as well. And I think we have a bowling strength. The problem here is, Chahar will have to be continuously performing well, because Bumrah and Shami are sitting there. Now, when you say certain people are permanent, you keep on performing. Suppose if he keeps on performing, and once Bumrah comes back, what happens to Chahar? Shami comes back, what happens to Chahar? Unless you tell them that, look here, if you perform, you will be there. But you have a problem plenty. Now, Nikhil will solve that problem. If you have 5 fast bowlers, top fast bowlers, and 2 are doing very well, and 3 are just sitting because they are comfortably, like Bumrah or Shami, how you change them? Chahar, if he takes every match, he takes 3 or 4 wickets. Now, finals comes T20. Now, where you decide if this gentleman who has played so well and bowled so well, now how you are going to change him for Bumrah?
Absolutely. In fact, even Mr. Bedi mentioned about Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Deepak Chahar, if he has to be retained in the team, there has to be some sacrifice which has to be made.
Yeah, without a doubt. See, that's the beauty about Indian cricket at this moment in time. You're looking to rotate your fast bowlers. You know, it's a very valid point that Sir speaks about, saying that with Jasprit Bumrah, would it be Shami? I have a feeling Shami might not be playing the T20 World Cup. You know, no disrespect to Mohammad Shami, but the way things are looking at, and this is still 30 games from now. You know, this is still another year. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you know, going through his injuries, what kind of age. That is the reason why you're getting a Deepak Chahar into the mix, why you're getting Navdeep Saini into the mix as well. From here on in, every performance that you give for India will also help if you have a good enough IPL season, because that, at that moment in time, would be at the brink of the team selection for the 2020. So those 14 games of IPL will be the finisher. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Nikhil, you know, we also spoke about the template. You know, the team India was in fact known for carrying on with the ODI template onto T20 games as well. And we got to see that against that final match in West Indies as well, you know, where they outdid us in terms of number of sixes and boundaries. Do you think that perhaps is in a transitional mode now, because the management has decided that T20 is something that we have to give ourselves to in the next year and a half or so?
Without a doubt, even if you look at the you know, fixtures and tour committees, you have more T20 games. You're looking to prepare, which is good, because if you're playing the T20 World Championship in a particular format, you must, apart from your top 3 world-beating stars that you've got in our batting order, you have to give enough exposure and experience to some of the other guys to don India colours and make no mistake. And play in front of 30 to 40, 50,000 people, so that you start feeling a part of the side and saying, well, my contribution has got to be so sizable that I'm going to go out there and win games for India. Not survive in the side, but win games for
I
India.
have a question for Nikhil.
Right.
Now, what happens to a player? Now, you have 5 or 6 players whom you have rested because you are giving chance to newcomers.
So batsman or bowler?
Just, okay.
No, batsman or bowler?
Both way. You have kept certain 5 or 6 players outside, who you say
As is the situation right now.
It is certainty they will be playing T20, but let us give chance to these 7 players. And these 7 or 8 players, bowlers or batsmen, they perform exceedingly well. Now, where you draw line, whom you are going to draw? There's a problem. Either you set a team. Here, 2 or 3 players you don't need. 2 or 3 players. Okay, this is a slot where you will be tested. But if you are testing the whole lot, like Chahar, now where you place Chahar if Bumrah is there? Where you would place Chahar if or Navdeep Saini if Bhuvneshwar comes back? Where all those players, Shreyas Iyer, that is going to be problematic.
I want Nikhil to hold on to that answer. In fact, Ricky wants to say something and come in. Ricky, go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, Vineet, please convey my Sasrikal to Bedi Saab there. We are on show together after a long time, and he's looking very handsome in this blue colored turban. And the answer to Mr. Bedi's question is, Mr. Bedi has rightly put in that if Deepak Chahar or if Saini's perform so well, then how come Bumrah will get into the 11? But this is a good problem, plenty of problem of plenty we are talking about. And if somebody like Deepak Chahar takes 8 wickets in the next game, and we have Bumrah fit, he's fit already but being rested, he comes back, then he has to give a place for Bumrah, because that is where team strength counts. You have such a strong bench strength, but end of the day it's your premium bowlers, the top bowlers, the senior bowlers who are fit enough to do well to being in the 11. And I'm sure that is the answer to Sir's question. If Bumrah is there, then no chance for Deepak Chahar or Navdeep Saini to play, but they can just sit and wait for the chances, and Virat Kohli will be very happy about it.
Well, absolutely. He does make a case in point. And Nikhil, now it's time for you to answer Mr. Bedi's
Well,
question.
absolutely. Sir, the important thing is Jasprit Bumrah is your premier fast bowler, number 1. You're looking to give him a break and trying to find who will partner with him. At this moment, Deepak Chahar does well, Navdeep Saini does well. You know, come the next series, you probably still have Deepak Chahar as well as Navdeep Saini play against Bangladesh. Maybe Bhuvi comes back after injury. Jasprit Bumrah still would be your premier fast bowler for Test match cricket. When you're playing in India, it gets really a big uphill task for any fast bowler to play all 3 formats of the game. And you know, with the Test Championship as well, you got to handle your fast bowlers and rotate them with, you know, a lot of care, and especially with somebody like a Jasprit Bumrah. So your premier fast bowler, number 1, Jasprit Bumrah is going to be there. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, if he is fit, even if he doesn't get fit, or God forbid, come 2020 World Cup, Jasprit Bumrah breaks down, you must have enough fast bowlers that you've given experience to. If not, then you'll be struggling. You look for fast bowlers who you haven't given them any sort of game time. So this is a great thought process for the Indian team and the BCCI to allow youngsters, give them some game time and see how they react under pressure. And I think Deepak Chahar, Navdeep Saini, both have done exceedingly well. Navdeep Saini, next year IPL, will be the finisher, the clincher. How he does in international cricket, whether he's on that flight for the T20 World Championship or not.
Absolutely. We have a paucity of time, but Nikhil, before we leave, the question that comes to my mind, you spoke of, how the team is being set up or how the team is being groomed, to take care of certain individuals being absent because of, virtuous reasons and certain individuals being tried and tested. What do you think is going to be the overall strategy of Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli and company, in terms of prioritizing which department to look into and which to in fact relegate at this point in time going ahead into the World Cup?
See, most important,
because we all know, let me just amplify that question, we all know that we are still very heavily dependent on our top three.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point that you bring out. You don't want to make the same mistakes prior to the 50-over World Cup. Well, we looked at our top three, and we didn't give enough game time to our middle order. I think you'll see in the future coming series that maybe Virat takes a break or Rohit takes a break. Sharma back into the fray. Shreyas Iyer maybe coming to bat at number 3. During the game time, like case in scenario yesterday, you'll have situations where Virat doesn't come and bat at number 3, he sends somebody else out. That is the only way you will be able to go out there and prepare your middle order, because once again, if your top 3 keep getting you the runs, you don't give enough game time to your middle order, you are looking to repeat the same sort of mistakes like we did prior to going to England for the World Championship. I don't think this Indian team will make that same mistake again.
One difference and one good thing for India is, as Nikhil said, I am quoting him up, that in going to ODI, we had no tournament like IPL.
Yeah.
Now, IPL will help us build a team. I think that is a tournament which is suited for T20.
It perhaps will help other teams as well.
Yeah,
you've heard it right here. Bedi sir is, talking the same language as me.
Has concurred with you. On that light note, it's time for us to end the show. Rutinder Singh Sodhi, thank you so much for joining us. Harpal Singh Bedi, Nikhil Chopra, always a pleasure to have you on Sports Sex. Folks, this is all we have. We'll see you same time tomorrow, same place. Thank you for watching.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.